I should probably watch out where I'm stepping. One false step could be my last one. The small windows are absolutely filthy. An 8mm film projector. Considering its age and the fact that it's not professionally handled here, it is not in bad condition. It won't work without electricity. The button must have a purpose. But what? There is nothing special to see, but then again, it is pitch black in there. As an obedient little housewife, of course I know what my duties are. There, finished. Shall I make dinner now as well? An old drinking water tank. There is obviously no more fuel in it. That would have been too good. If I remember correctly, then that thing has something to do with magnetism and producing electricity. That must be a tributary of the stony Tunguska. It's not the river's fault, but I'm starting to hate that name. Wow, what a monster! I have to ask, even if I'm talking to myself, how did that thing get here? Wow, what a monster! This has been plundered. Everything that can be taken off and carried is gone. There are only 2 small nuts here, and I am having them. There still seems to be a bit of diesel oil in there. There's still plenty of vodka in there. If I want the one spirit, I think I will have to get rid of the other. Nastarovia! Oops, I think I'm a bit out of practice. That must be the research station that the transit train was supposed to be going to. Has it even arrived there at all? The research station is certainly impressive. It even has its own runway, and probably just as impressively secured. I can forget getting in there. I'm not even sure that I want to go in anyway. After all, I have heard and read about this station and the place it was built on. Anyway, the station does radiate a certain fascination. Not a positive one, and the longer I look, the more I get the shivers. I'd better make my way back. There's a lot to do, and I still don't know what secret out of Daddy's past is concealed here. The whole station looks like out of a science fiction movie. Hardly believable, considering that it has been here for several decades. Will its secret ever be revealed to me? The river drops about 30 meters here. It's a very impressive sight. That's what I call quality craftsmanship. Over 50 years old, and it still works like it did when it came out of the factory. I'll hold both nuts close to the coils, but not too close, otherwise I'll be toast. As a result, they seem to have become magnetized. The rag is soaked through. I would never have dreamed that one day I would clean out a chimney from the inside. I'll light the lamp. Now that the suit is off, I can see numbers written on it. 7.5, 3, 10.5, 6. That's strange. Obviously, the compass needle only moves when I press the button. I seem to have triggered a mechanism, but nothing has happened yet. A secret compartment! There are a few old documents and a roll of film in there. I'll have a look at the documents. Maybe my father left them there. Yes, indeed. He describes that the 1958 expedition apparently could not provide an explanation why the plant growth has changed so much here since the catastrophe of 1908. The discovery of a meteorite, hoped for by the government as a cause of the devastating explosion, also did not materialize. For this reason, neither my father in his function as the leader of the expedition, nor the biologist, Ken Morangi, could provide an unambiguous conclusion, which obviously was not regarded favorably by the authorities. Oh, and they are also briefly mentioning Oleg here, but apparently he was not that important. I guess I'd better not tell him that. Years later, in his function as a geologist, at the Academy of Sciences in Moscow, my father examined a strange piece of metal that had been found in the Tunguska region. He then was able to prove its non-terrestrial origins, which breathed new life into the meteorite theory. However, upon further analysis, he and his colleague Manuel Perez discovered traces that indicated that the metal had been worked. When they wanted to publish their discovery in the Kolenkov Expert, it was completely, surprisingly, rejected, and they were forbidden any further examination of the rock. When my father continued to inquire about the happenings in the Tunguska region, he was dismissed from the Academy of Sciences. The last entries are from 1977. Obviously, he and Manuel Perez went to the Tunguska region on their own. They hoped to find additional fragments of that strange material so they could continue their studies. What the goal was and what happened isn't written down in here. In addition, I have this burning desire to know what is going on with this fragment. On the one hand, it's probably not of terrestrial origin, but on the other hand, it was processed. That would mean... The old Evank also said something about his son finding some metal fragment in the woods, and then suddenly disappearing. That would fit in with the fact that my father was even thrown out of the Academy of Sciences due to his analysis. I hope that I will find some more answers on that roll of film. Damn, the bulb has burned out. It's not possible to just pop around to the shops and get another around this place. So now is the time to think of something else. I've wrapped the tinfoil around the broken glass. Yep, that should work. Since it's rather dark in here, the light reflected by my modified glass shard should do it.
So, Manuel, the camera's rolling.
Please excuse me for a moment. I'll be right back.
Manual!
What was that? Lightning? Or sheet lightning? And what happened to this Manuel Perez? That sounded like an explosion. I should see what's going on. Looks as if half the station exploded.
Come on! Come on! Move your asses! The intruders have to be around here somewhere. We'll get them. Spread out!
Oh, my head. What was that? Feels like someone sifted through my thoughts.
There's someone up there! Get them!
Damn. I have to get away from here. Thanks. That was close.
No problem. I told you that I would catch you if you were ever standing on the edge of a precipice. What happened? We just saw that some areas of the research station were in flames, and suddenly there were soldiers everywhere.
I don't know much more either. Suddenly, two strange figures appeared in front of me out of nowhere.
From the FSB?
No, they weren't agents. I'm not really sure. This may sound kind of stupid, but I'm not even sure if they were human.
What?
I don't know how I should describe it. It was more like a feeling that I got from them.
What did they want? Did they say anything?
They didn't really speak. It was more like voices inside my head. It was as if they were looking for an answer.
What kind of answer?
I don't know how to describe the feeling. It was as if my head was going to explode. I've never experienced pain like that. And then suddenly, I knew that I wanted to tell them everything. It was suddenly so clear.
You told them everything?
No. Before I could say anything, the soldiers came and the two figures disappeared as suddenly as they appeared. Where are we flying to anyway?
In the meantime, Sergei has found out that your father was never in Moscow. So it almost looks as if the entire trip was pretty much in vain.
No, on the contrary. I'm now sure that my father was kidnapped for some reason that has to do with the Tunguska catastrophe.
How come?
I found some of my father's old documents. If I haven't misunderstood them, he was on the trail of something big, and I have a name. Manuel Perez. He was with my father back then, and we also know approximately where he is now.
Yes, in a mental institution on Cuba. Great lead.
It's gotta be worth a try. And there's another name on the list. This Irish biologist, Ken Morangi.
That's right. I know that I have already asked a lot from you two, and am deeply indebted to you. And I would understand...
Stop rambling. What's your plan? You're heading to Cuba and I'm heading to Ireland?
You'd really do that?
You can pay me back some other time. For example, by buying me a cup of hot coffee.
Max, you're a sweetheart.
And don't you ever forget it.
Oleg, I'm not usually like that. But what should I do? Besides you two, I don't have anyone who could help me. And if my father...
It's okay. We enjoy helping you, honestly. So don't worry about us. Concentrate on your dad.
Yeah, okay. We already found the psychiatric hospital. I only hope that this Perez is still here.
Why shouldn't he? But first I have to take care of some formalities. Will you be okay without me?
Sure. I can manage the 20 yards to the reception desk by myself. Go on. I'll be all right.
Okay. See you later.
Good afternoon. I'm looking for the sanatorium under the palms. Am I in the right place?
Good afternoon to you, too. Yes, as far as the name is concerned, you're in the right place.
As far as the name is concerned?
Well, it's the same with institutions as it is with political parties. The name isn't always the main concern.
How come? There are a bunch of palm trees here, aren't there?
Sure, there are palm trees here, but let's leave it at that. I've already said too much. How can I help you?
Oh, come on. What's going on here? What isn't right?
Nothing. I mean everything. Oh, it doesn't matter. What do you want?
That's a shame. I'm looking for a man named Manuel Perez. He's supposedly a patient here.
Ah, yes, could be. I don't know the patients. Go to reception on the left side. I'm sure someone can help you there. And if I can offer you a word of advice, be careful.
What? Why?
Just because. You look like you could use the warning, but be that as it may, I have to go back to my painting. Good luck.
You paint during your shift?
Yeah, sure. If there's nothing to do, I paint a couple of pictures. Some of them are then hung up in the clinic.
Is there really that little to do?
What do you think? We don't exactly have concerts or events where thousands of people line up the night before. I've been working here for 2 years, and you are, if I haven't miscounted, you are the third visitor.
Oh. What do you usually paint?
Everything, really. Although, if I have to be honest, everything isn't necessarily a lot. At some point, you just run out of ideas when you can only paint from one position. So far, I've painted lots of palm trees, blades of grass, and even butterflies in various positions. I'm starting to get sick of it. I paint extra slow, you know. I used to paint a picture in 30 minutes. Now I take 30 hours, just to postpone the problem of choosing the next subject for the picture.
Well, then I wish you... What should I wish for?
Wish that we have a thunderstorm. Maybe some of the palm trees will fall down, and then I would have something new to paint.
Okay. Then I wish you have a thunderstorm.
Thanks. And if you happen to run across a great idea, then please let me know.
A little while ago, you said that something wasn't right with this institution.
Me? No, I never said that.
But...
The weather is beautiful today, isn't it?
Yes, it's gorgeous. I understand. I'll leave you alone with your muse now.
Thanks. I'm still waiting for the kiss.
From me or from the muse?
Both.
The future masterpieces of contemporary Cuban painting are created here. Whether they are justifiably rather unknown is something that others need to decide. Good afternoon.
Hello?
I'm looking for a man named Perez. Manuel Perez. He's supposed to be a patient here. May I speak with him?
Perez? Yeah, he's here. And who are you?
I am Nina Castro. I think it would be better if I did not tell the whole world my name. As long as I don't know who's behind my father's kidnapping, it's better to be too careful than not enough.
Sorry, you can't come in here without a special permit.
But it's really important.
Important? It's really important for me to keep my job and my health. And naturally, my incomparable good looks. That's what's really important.
I'm not asking you to release him. I just want to talk to him for a second.
Listen up, darling. Now that Mr. Gartuso has the say and Nicole Charleroi was put in charge, we all have to really watch ourselves.
Massimo Gartuso? The American billionaire with a gigantic mobile phone company?
That's the one. And in Cuba, the saying goes, whoever pays decides what's for dinner. Is there anything else I can do for you?
The music sure is loud.
Yeah, great, isn't it? I just got the disc and I've been listening to it non-stop for the last 3 days. It really keeps me going. It even makes it fun to clean. Actually, I wanted to be a dancer, but the market in this region is pretty saturated. So I had to invent a new discipline. Rhythmic cleaning. I clean to the exact beat of the music. It also helps fight fatigue. I came up with it a few weeks ago and have been perfecting my technique ever since. We'll see. Maybe if politics doesn't pan out, I can maybe offer a few courses for housewives. I think the demand for it is probably pretty high.
Yeah, I bet it is. Massimo Cartuzzo has bought himself a mental asylum in a sleepy town in Cuba. Don't you find that a bit strange?
I have my own theories, but I'd rather keep them to myself.
Come on, it could be really important.
Nothing is so important that a person could end up like...
Yes?
Nothing. Don't you think rhythmic cleaning would be a great business concept?
There are so many weird things happening here that I don't know where I should start being astonished. I have the feeling that it has to do with something real big. Unfortunately, my feelings do not tell me what that is. Are you afraid of your boss?
Me? Why should I?
I just had the impression.
It's misleading. It's definitely misleading.
She does want to talk. All I have to do is tickle her a little bit. The boss isn't even here, so you have nothing to worry about.
Yeah, that's also what Pedro thought, but then...
And then?
Nothing. Leave me alone.
This Nicole Charleroi is pressuring the workers to such a degree that they are almost shitting their pants from fear. I hope I won't have to clash with her on top of everything else. You said something about if politics doesn't pan out. You're a politician?
Not yet, and I stress the word yet. There is an election in 2 weeks and I want to run.
As a politician?
Yeah, sure. Anything against it?
No, of course not. So you think you have a good chance?
Yes, I think so. I am staggeringly gorgeous, and I have already, let's just say, convinced 20% of the voters.
Oh.
But I don't want to be just one of many. I want to be the next female mayor. Unfortunately, I still need some more votes for that, but I'll get them. If only I knew how to get them.
Oh, you want to jump straight to being the mayor. How modest. What's your election platform?
Platform? No one reads it anyway. The only problem is that I just have 2 weeks and I'm still behind 120 men.
Yeah, that's cutting it close. Maybe you should try getting a platform after all.
Oh, it's much too expensive and no one is interested anyway. I just have to be able to convince more people all at once of my qualifications is all.
You mean...
Yeah, well, do you have a better idea?
I'll think about it. If I think of something, I'll let you know. Then I'll leave you to your hip swing again. An invitation to a slideshow called Traditional Cigar Manufacturing Methods. I'll just take one of them with me. The selection is done according to the proven method of random chance. A magazine with the promising title, let's just say, a rhetoric magazine. Hello. That's a nice house of cards you're building there.
Yeah. And now be quiet or the thing will fall again.
This institution gives a somewhat, well, strange impression. Was it always like that? Could you tell me a bit about it? Maybe you've noted something in particular.
Sure I can. But I won't. Otherwise I'll end up like... Oh, doesn't matter.
No, it does matter. Otherwise you'll end up like whom?
Just like people who ask too many questions.
Can I borrow the copier for a second?
Sure. Bring down my house of cards, steal my glory, my pride, my last bit of self-respect. The spark of hope in my dreary routine, the little bit...
Yeah, okay. I'll just wait until you're finished. Nicole Charleroi. She's the director of the institute here, right?
Is she here?
No, I don't think so.
Whew. Don't scare me like that again.
Are you afraid of her?
Me? No, of course not. Shay was also never afraid. On the other hand, Shay also never had anything to do with psychopathic scientists.
What do you mean?
Oh, nothing. Nothing at all.
You look pretty determined. Are you getting money for this house of cards?
Money? No, not money. Glory. I'll be like my ancestors and go down in history.
As a house of cards builder?
Yes. Shay started the same way.
Che Guevara?
No. Chevrolet.
Okay, I understand. I'm going.
Okay. I have to hurry anyway before the earthquake starts again.
Earthquake?
Yeah, every afternoon. Just before I finish the tallest house of cards in the world, an earthquake comes and ruins everything again. But this time, I'll make it.
Watch out that your house of cards doesn't fall down.
Yeah, make sure you don't bring down my house of cards.
Our Latin beauty probably would not be particularly happy if I simply turn her music off. Hello? Are you a member of the staff?
Me? No, heaven forbid. I'm here to repave the courtyard with asphalt. But to do that, I have to remove the old asphalt first. It's terribly hard work in this heat. I can tell you that.
I can imagine. By the way, I'm Nina.
Pleased to meet you. I'm Bernard.
Why is the courtyard being repaved? It still looks good. I've seen streets at home that look much worse.
No idea. You're right, though. It really isn't worthwhile for just a couple of patients. Whatever. I don't really care.
Who hired you?
Some Italian-American, Massimo Gattuso or something like that.
Massimo Gartuzzo?
Yes. He wants the courtyard to be finished in 3 days. It's completely unrealistic.
But you don't know why this courtyard is supposed to be repaved?
No.
Strange. How come someone like Massimo Gartuzzo has the rear yard of a net house in a Cuban hick town surfaced with asphalt? Did you notice anything unusual about the Institute?
What do you mean by unusual? A couple of mentally challenged and a couple of doctors in a narrow room? At some point, it's difficult to differentiate between doctors and patients.
I feel the same way about dog owners. But did you notice anything unusual?
Apart from the fact that one of them is always screaming, screeching, or makes strange noises, truth be told, the Institute scares me a little.
Can you describe it a little more?
I don't know exactly. I just don't like it here. As soon as it gets dark, I make sure that I leave. And there isn't enough money in the world to get me to go in there.
Someone like him admitting just like that he is afraid without having a real reason for it? I should be cautious if I want to continue looking around here. Regarding your break...
Are you gonna deny me my break?
Oh no, of course not.
Good. It's short enough as it is. The old lady will start smoking again soon, and then my work starts again.
What do you mean?
The cook. As soon as I see black coming out of the chimney back there again, I have to go back to work.
Smoke as a signal to get back to work? That somehow seems familiar to me. Don't you have a watch?
Nah, I don't need one. The old lady is accurate down to the last second.
Does the name Nicole Charleroi mean anything to you?
Not really.
She's supposed to be the boss here. You must know her.
Oh, her. Oh, God. Keep her away from me.
That bad?
Worse. She seems nice at first, but she's something between a Valkyrie and a battle axe.
Charming.
You asked me. Am I supposed to lie to you?
No. Have you gotten to know her?
Believe me, it only takes a few seconds, and that's enough for me.
Do you know a man named Manuel Perez?
Who's that?
One of the people inside.
A patient?
Yes.
No idea. I haven't had any contact with them. It's prohibited by the management.
You have a bit of a stutter. Am I correct to assume that it's caused by a childhood trauma? Or did your first girlfriend disappoint you? What tragic story is behind it?
Have you ever worked 10 hours with a jackhammer and then tried to speak halfway normal?
Oh, no, not that I know of.
I thought so. Otherwise, you wouldn't ask a question like that.
Well, then enjoy the rest of your break.
I will.